All right, so yesterday we had a topic in the show about Tanner McKee. And Earl was like, oh, no. Nope. So then Earl produced today, right?
I went Zaytoven on the beat. So since I'm Zaytoven today, I figured I'd throw a little bit of spice into the quarterback, conversation that we have. I told you, I get frustrated, irritated having this conversation because it always ends up in this just overly disrespectful war of words. Now, my opinion, I think that the Browns are telling you without telling you. It's Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, possibly Dylan Gabriel, and whatever rookie developmental quarterback that they take in the draft. So for the sake of this conversation, I want to start with you, Mike, and talk about the possibility of the Browns drafting a quarterback late. Which of the developmental quarterbacks do you like the most?
So it depends on what you're looking for in a developmental quarterback. The one guy I know I don't want is Drew Allar. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. I have watched too many games of Drew Allar to think that he has any chance of becoming a long-term successful quarterback in the NFL. He has issues with his accuracy. He has issues throwing guys on routes that break out. Todd McShay did a really good detailed breakdown of the struggles in that capacity of his game even before last year. So if someone brings him up, I'm ready to go to war on why it's the wrong answer. I'm just giving you guys the heads up now. In terms of developmental quarterback, it comes down to traits, right? Like, none of these guys are going to come in and be ready to play from day one. That's why they're developmental guys. And if we're going off developmental traits, there's no one that has better traits that you'd want to work with than Taylen Green out of Arkansas. Earl, I know he's a guy you've mentioned yesterday. He's a guy you've mentioned in the past. And I think he's the most realistic answer if you're going to take a guy who's not ready to play on day one but has all the physical tools to be a legitimately possibly dominant NFL quarterback down the road. It's a guy that broke the combine. He's Anthony Richardson with a bigger track record in college and had more success than Anthony Richardson did in college. He's 6'5", 6'6", ran a 4.3 40, set the quarterback record, or came close to it in the broad jump and the vertical jump. He played in the SEC, was a multi-year starter in the SEC. If you ever played the college football video games, he was essentially a Chico because he had 95 speed and 98 throw power. The dude was an absolute menace. His accuracy leaves a lot to be desired. He is not an NFL caliber quarterback whatsoever from a throwing standpoint right now. But if the question is, are you going to bring in a developmental guy who's not going to be ready to start day one, but could find ways to contribute, there could be goal line packages where you could insert Taylen Green in right away and give yourself another look in a Taysom Hill a la kind of role from day one, even if he's not ready to be a full-time quarterback. If we're looking developmental-wise, Earl, nobody's got more developmental tools than Taylen Green from Arkansas. Jason?
Drew Allar.
I'll fight you. Let's go.
No,
Let's go.
Said for a few months, it would be Nussmeier or Allar, one of the two. And Allar, I don't disagree with what you said on Allar, but 6'5" is 6'5". The athleticism is what the athleticism is. And we talked about yesterday. I finished the story yesterday. I think it's going to run over the weekend on the AD who hired Monken at Southern Miss thought he was really good at sort of identifying what he wants in a quarterback. So
Monken was good at
identifying what he wants in a quarterback. And the AD that I spoke to also played quarterback at Southern Miss in the 70s. So he has a lot of knowledge on quarterback play, and he didn't understand why Monken wanted Nick Mullins so badly. And Nick was a high IQ guy who just understood what Todd wanted, and Todd, like, it was just good synergy between the two. So if there's a situation like that with Monken and one of these picks, that they get in the room together and they sort of see it the same way, Allar for the size, and you lean on Monken to sort of straighten out everything else and figure out everything else. Nussmeier, I think, has a high floor, probably a low ceiling, but a high floor. I don't think it worked well with Brian Kelly this year as part of the reason why he sort of fell off.
He was injured for most of the year,
He was hurt.
Didn't help.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was a time where Nussmeier was supposed to be one of the top picks in the draft.
He was part of that vaunted 2026 quarterback class.
And obviously it didn't work. But if you're talking a mid-round guy, I would look at one of those two guys.
That's a good choice.
Son of a coach, too, for what it's worth. His dad's the OC in
He's worked with McCarthy, I think, in the past. He's worked with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, he's the current OC in New Orleans.
Yeah.
McNuggets knew I was taking Taylen Green. He knew that. but I already knew what he was going to do.
I got another guy.
I got another guy, too. I got another guy.
Who?
That's
We're going to have another guy off.
Yeah, we don't.
Nope.
Too late. It's out there.
It's already there.
Nope.
It's already there.
Earl has left the building.
They must strike down from the.
Nope.
Thank you. Thank you. Multiples.
Yep. My bad.
A legal procedure.
My bad.
I'm going to go with a guy who was also in that 2026 class. And I gave him a lot of grief because they actually had him mocked to the Cleveland Browns at #1 overall. It was a time, once upon a time, in a land far away, that Cade Klubnik was actually nice.
Yeah.
Listen, if you look at just his body of work, out of the guys that kind of floundered this year between Allar and Nussmeier, and you even say Arch Manning, right? Cade Klubnik, if you go back and you look at his stats from 2024, 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
He's athletic. He can move. He's a sub 4.7 guy. He probably runs around in the 4.6 range. He's mobile. He looks the part. He has the arm. It just never came around. The offense just never seemed to really click. He took a step back this year, but he didn't take a bigger step back than Nussmeier or Allar. He actually did almost throw. What he threw? He didn't do half crazy. He threw for 3,000 yards this year.
Clemson was supposed to be like top 5, but it was god awful.
And that's the reason I think he goes. His fall is more disrespectful. His fall because they had players. Like they got guys that's draftable players, and so that's even more of a head scratcher, and it really scares a lot of teams off because you look at it and you're saying, well, listen, it's not like you're playing for a subdivision level team. You're not playing for Appalachian State, bro. You're playing for Clemson with defensive linemen. You got a defense, you got an offense.
You got 3 defensive players who'll be top 50 picks.
So you play in the ACC. It ain't like you playing in the SEC. So. But if you want to look at the traits, if you want to look at he's a senior, he's still 22 years old, is a senior. I would be more intrigued with him because I do think he's a better athlete than Nussmeier, and he's not the athlete Taylen Green is. That would be my number one choice. But I'll give you Cade Klubnik.
I got another name for you. Are you guys familiar with Cole Payton?
Is he at Baylor?
No, it's Sawyer Robertson. Cole Payton's out of North Dakota State. Before this year, he had 1 career start at running back. He's a converted quarterback. This dude is 6'4", 240, throws like Tim Tebow. I don't know if it'll translate at all. I don't. Tim Tebow was an objective failure in the NFL.
If he throws like Tebow?
It's a motion.
Oh.
The motion is like long and clunky.
Jason is like
hard pass.
But no, but hear me out.
I just slow panned to Jason.
No, just
no, Jason, hold on.
My answer's Taylen Green. I'm just mentioning this guy because there's something cool about what he did. So his 1 start before this year was at running back, right?
Okay.
Moves to quarterback.
All right.
70+% completion percentage. 16 touchdowns, a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I was told about this guy. Someone told me to watch him. You can even see in the pictures.
I mean, he's ripped.
Yeah.
He's huge. No, he's a fullback, basically. Tebow, even when he was playing at Florida winning Heisman.
Oh, my God.
What do you think? Listen.
We waiting for you to land this plane. Well, I'm wondering where this plane is landing
at. This dude was built.
I'm reaching for the oxygen mask.
This dude was built
exit seats
to be a 4th and 1 goal line weapon. He's not a quarterback.
Okay.
But he can be the best throwing fullback in the history of the NFL.
So you want Taysom Hill? You want to get him in the...
If you want Taysom Hill, I think Cole Payton's your guy.
You just said that about Green.
No, I said you could use Taylen Green in a similar role, but he ain't like Taysom Hill. He ain't the physical monster that Taysom Hill is. Cole Payton could be, but you're not drafting Taysom Hill to be your developmental quarterback. You're drafting Taysom Hill to be an offensive weapon. Cole Payton's going to be an offense. I'm telling you, Cole Payton's going to have like 4 touchdowns as a rookie.
Okay. Well, if you tell me he's a gimmick guy, that's different than you're drafting him to be
I didn't pick him for my developmental quarterback. I just wanted to throw him out there.
You had a guy.
Well, you just changed the topic then in the middle of the segment.
Well, at the end of the segment, I'm just adding another guy to the list. We're talking developmental quarterbacks. Let's talk about them all.
If you're telling me it's going to be a backup tight end on 4th and 1 or this guy, I guess I'll take
That's what I'm saying.
as a
Cole Payton.
7th round free agent signing.
Go watch this film, G. If you haven't seen it yet, the dude's.
That's a soft flex on his film game. That's all there was.
I got.
Like, listen, I done seen him. I'm throwing out
He
here
just
soft
told
flex.
you to go watch Cole Payton field.
Black.